Hello and welcome to another challenge today. Happy Friday. We have a very short sentence today in comparison to what we've been going through this past week. Again, very proud of your results, guys. You are perfectly comfortable, or so it seems, in finding your subjects and predicates. The noun cases are just a little bit more, need a little bit more work, but that's why we're here, okay? We're going to go through these sentence by sentence. And we do have pretty much just one sentence here. And this particular sentence is missing something, which I am just double checking now while I'm talking to you to make sure that I copied it correctly from the book. And it looks like I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it to you as we go. So let's start with, since we only have one visible punctuation, and take this first as one large sentence, which means it should have one subject and one predicate. So subject at the beginning is he, and predicate has. All right. Since we have only one subject and one predicate, the rest should fall under the noun cases that we looked at previously. So the easiest one to find should be direct object. In other words, what does he have? He has hair. Okay. Now pay attention to the and here, okay? Because and is going to add something else that he has, and whatever that is going to also be a direct object. And there's another and. Eyes. And cheeks. Okay? So notice that with the three ends here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 direct objects telling us what he has. He has hair, nose, eyes, and cheeks. That is the main idea of the sentence. The rest is going to be the author or the writer giving us a little bit more information in the narrative. But before we get to that, I just want to point something out. First, many of you are probably looking at, there are too many ends in this sentence, and you would be absolutely right. So you could have a comma here without the end, so no end, and then a comma after eyes, and finally an end here, all right? Typically, in punctuation, this is what we would expect to find. Remember, narrative gives a writer a license to be more dramatic, and this is dramatic purpose. The narrator is telling a story, and she talks about her brother's hair. She's talking about the nose, and then every single end is meant to give you this illusion that she's thinking once she says one thing. Okay, it's kind of like we catch ourselves telling a story and we use like. Sometimes we'll even say, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then I did that. Okay, so when telling a story, we sometimes fill in those gaps. We use the end to help us think about what's coming ahead. And in this case, since it's the main character talking and the narrator is the main character, they are going to give you that impression. So remember, in narrative writing, this is a good way of utilizing an image, or having a more of a license to write this way. But when it comes to essays or when it comes to writing in general, avoid this construction at all costs, okay? Because it's going to say to the reader that you are not sure of what comes next, or you're putting in these awkward breaks. I hope you get why you can get away with it in narrative. So we have 4 direct objects. Now, everything before that is going to agree with the noun. So what kind of hair is it? It's dark. There's an adjective right there. What kind of nose is it? Is hooked. Okay, now notice this hooked is a verb, okay, turned into a noun. It's called a participle. But it's a passive participle, okay, which means the nose having been hooked. It sounds awkward in English. But this is a way of describing a noun by using a verb and turning it into an adjective. It is a participle. We have the present participle, like we've done yesterday with the ing endings, and now we have the past participle with the ed ending acting on the nose. Then we have another adjective here, green, talking about the eyes. And look, another participle, dimpled. Okay, the cheeks having been dimpled, dimpled cheeks. Again, a perfect passive participle here to help us round things off. So these two, hooked and dimpled, are examples of how you can take your verb and turn it into an adjective. Okay, and help you describe your nose. All right. Next, she's going to let us know whose dark hair the character has. It's my possessive, but it's also father's. Okay, so two possessive beside each other. You could say he has father's dark hair, but my father could also be inserted. So two possessive, possessive, possessive. We got my, another possessive, mother's, another possessive. And that's it. Okay, so today's exercise gave us an introduction to the perfect passive participle, which is dimpled and hooked, turning a verb into an adjective. And then we have the possessive here and a direct object with, look, just one subject and one predicate as we've predicted. All right, so can you guess the verb tense? I think you can. Again, just like we've had before, it is going to be third person, singular, present, simple, indicative. And that's it. Okay, fairly small sentence, but gave us a little bit to talk about, a little bit more to dissect, and hopefully learned about narrative writing and how you could sometimes use grammatical rules and bend them to your advantage. But remember, you cannot do this in essay writing or in letter writing unless it is narrative. All right, have a fantastic weekend, everybody. I'm looking forward to reading your paragraphs. If you haven't done them, don't sweat it. Next week, I'm still running a clinic where you can sign up to get some help on finishing your paragraph writing. And I'm also going to do a lesson on how to write a conclusion. Looking forward to next week. Thank you so much. Once we're done the essays, we are going to start doing some reading together and doing some comprehension questions, which will kind of help us get through the last part of our year. Thank you so much. Take care. Happy weekend. See you next week. Bye.